Hello and welcome to another video. So in this one I am going to be kind of going into the behind the scenes of our dog murder mystery party, or if you want to go over the whole thing, the casino murder mystery dog party. Doesn't really flow, but it works. Now this party, let me tell you, it was an adventure. And I'm going to get into the whole story behind why it was an adventure. I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about how we did it. I guess possibly tips on hosting a murder mystery. I've never done one before this, so it was very interesting. And just kind of talk about it a little bit. I didn't really get footage to make a video out of it, but I thought honestly it was a really cool idea. And I'm excited to talk about it. I love the dog parties. I love dogs. I love just everything about this, so I wanted to kind of get into a little bit. Now, one of the cats actually, I guess you can't see it, but one of the cats actually stole the top part of my microphone. So the whole battery and the top of it, they're gone. So we're doing this with camera audio, so sorry. But, you know, it's a behind the scenes video, so why not have it be a mess? So to start this off, I'm going to get into how we originally decided to even do this. So we're going to flash back to March of 2020. Sometimes I get in these zones where I'm like, I want to do a thing right now. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be cool. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. And I want to do it like right now. And then obviously I can't do whatever it is right at that minute. So then I spend like hours and hours just figuring out every little detail of it as possible. And so I was just chilling on the couch and I was like, you know what? I want to have another dog party. And I was like, but I want to do something cool. Like I want to have like a party. And like, you know, a theme and everything, kind of like how we do for the holiday parties. And I was like, well, Remy's birthday's coming up, so what if we do a big party instead of just like the little family one? And so I was like, I'm gonna do that. So then I was thinking about party themes and stuff, and I was like, I want to do a murder mystery party. Like, boom, cool. And then I was like, okay, but I don't know how to do a murder mystery party. And I liked the idea of a casino one. I was looking up like general party themes in general, and you know, casino ones were coming up and I was like, that could be cool for decorations, and I like the colors, you know, switched up a little bit. And so I actually found a free template for a casino murder mystery party, and I was like, boom, that's it. And there's a couple for them, but this one, I really liked this one. So I found this template. It sounds like the person just wrote it themselves and then posted it. Like, it doesn't sound like they paid for it and then uploaded it. So I found it, I was like, sweet, I'm gonna use this. And I posted it, like I made the event on Facebook, you know, hyped it up, and I was like, everyone, including the dogs, has to dress formal. And I thought that was a fun little thing. So I realized when I was going into the decorations and stuff that I was kind of doing like a mixture of Roaring 20s and like typical casino. And so we kind of are all over the place, which I made a little like haul video on all the decorations and stuff so you can really see how all over the place we are. But anyway, because I was just looking up like casino party and things from both of them were showing up, so I just kind of meshed them into one. And so the premise of this was there is a star performer, in this case it was an Elvis impersonator, and while at the casino the Elvis impersonator was shot and the casino was like shut down and everyone had to figure out what was going on and who the murderer was. And I think I'm actually going to do another video where I walk through the complete thing, and I'll get into that in a second. But so that'll probably be the next video, because I think that would just be fun and to help other people out if they want to do it. But anyway, so I saw that, I posted the little like header thing that they came up with, like it's something like you're attending this like thing, da 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 da, like it's a whole like setup to let people know. So I posted it, made the event, cool. Started planning for it, bought an outfit for it, some people bought an outfit for it. And then the end of March came and everything shut down because of COVID. And I was like, oh, that kind of ruins things. Because I think I had it scheduled for April 3rd or something like that, because his birthday is the 2nd. So, obviously, I was like, can't do that now. And, So I was like, we'll just, you know, it's not canceled, but we'll reschedule when things open back up, because at this point everyone, you know, we weren't expecting this to go on until, I mean, it's November right now, and basically December. Today's Thanksgiving when I'm recording this. Fun fact, happy Thanksgiving. And then by the time things opened back up, it was the middle of summer, and it was gonna be way too hot to have the dogs dressing up. Plus, I like having the summer parties outside because it just gets way too hot in the house. And so yeah, I was like, not gonna happen. So we just did a little party for Remy, and I was like, we'll just have this be a fall party. So that led us into back-to-back parties. We had the Halloween party in October, we had the murder mystery party in November, and now we were supposed to have the Christmas party in December, but things are closed down again. Not completely, but still enough where the party will not be happening. So then by the time, you know, we got close to actually having the party, because what I like to do when we're doing these back-to-backs is, like, I had the Halloween party. I usually try to do it like the first or second weekend of the month of whatever, like, holiday it is. And so the day after the Halloween party is when I create the Facebook event for the murder mystery party. That way you have about a month. I don't like to make it before, because then when there's 2 event pages it can get confusing, whatever. So the day after the Halloween party, made the event for the murder mystery party, and I was like, okay, got a month to really put this together. And so I got the decorations, did all the stuff, and then went, because I bookmarked the page that had the murder mystery walkthrough. Site was not available. It was gone. I searched up so many keywords, I looked for a bunch of different things, could not find the site anymore. And couldn't find anything similar enough to it to just kind of switch the things. I was like, you know what, people won't really care if the general thing switches as long as it's under the same, you know, casino murder mystery. Couldn't find anything good, like it wasn't happening. I had a couple screenshots of like some of the details. I had a screenshot of the part that I posted. I had the murder, and then like how it happened, and then I had like 2 or 3 clues. So I had the most important stuff, but that left the entire like part of it out. So then I had the task, at this point we're like 2 weeks out from the party, I had the task of writing an entire murder mystery, which I've never done before. I've never been to a murder mystery, and I was like, what do I do? So I was like looking up a bunch of videos, I was trying to find this, So that's part of why I'm going to post the one to, if other people want to use it. I was debating on it because I didn't come up with this originally, but I think that enough of it is what I came up with to post it. And obviously if someone knows who the original person is that came up with it, then I'll say who that is, but at this point I don't know. But like I said, it sounds like it's something someone came up with, not something they bought, and then there was like some copyright thing and taken down. From the writing of it, it sounds like they came up with it. But anyway, so then I had to write this entire murder mystery. I had to figure out how to do a murder mystery. Like, I had nothing because all of those details were gone. And I was like, oh, of course I didn't save all of them. I don't know, my screenshots were so random. I don't know if just not everything backed up or if I was just like showing people things. Like, I don't know. And I had a bunch of people backing out. I got a job, and then I got another job. And so I was working 2 new jobs, working every day of the week at that point because I was training, and I had no time to set up or plan this party. So it was a mess, if you can't tell. But so I'm going to go through just a couple of the things that I did get together. So obviously I got like decorations and stuff. I made that video before. And I originally was going to make a lot of the decorations, but because it added up to a lot. Especially because I had to go to Party City for some of the decorations. But I was going to make a bunch of them, but I didn't have time. Like, I barely even had time to come up with this stuff. It was basically get out of work, work on the party. Get out of work, work on the party. Because I spent hours and hours and days just trying to write this and put it together. Because I'm not good at this stuff. Like, I don't know how to... My brain doesn't work that way. Because going into writing a murder mystery, you have to come up with clues to give people and stuff. but you also don't want to give it away right away, and you gotta come up with clues that'll lead people into another direction, and you gotta confuse people. You gotta figure out when to give out what. I didn't know the exact amount of people that were coming, which usually for a murder mystery, from what I gathered at least, usually you know the amount of people coming and you give those people a specific character. So that's known right away. You know how many people are there, people know who they're playing. It's this whole thing. I didn't know how many people were going to come, so I couldn't just set it up like clearly. Now I figured I would have at least 5, or I had 5 people locked in. Now I wasn't counting me in any of the numbers because I was, you know, kind of hosting it, so obviously I wasn't one of the players. But I made it up to 12 people, because when I first started writing it, that was still kind of the maybes I had. And I also had to think of gender, because in this specific one that played a role. And so I was like, well, I'd like to have guys play guys and girls play girls, but I was like, I don't know, because I didn't want it to get confusing, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted people to know who was who, and so I wanted to be, like, as simple as possible in that sense. But then I was like, but I don't know how many guys are coming, I don't know how many girls are coming. At one point, I didn't have any guys coming, but then luckily things switched and they were able to come. And so it was an adventure, because I came up with, so like I said, I came up with 12. Let me find my little thing. Yeah, I've got, like, just papers and papers of random little, like, plans and trying to figure out the clues and all this stuff. So, okay, I came up with 12 characters, and I'll walk through, like, the characters and stuff. Like I said, I'll go through everything in the next video, like the details of the clues, who each character was, that kind of thing. But I knew for sure at this point I was going to have 2 males, or I knew I at least needed to have 2 males by the way this went. And one thing I saw, it said to, like, do little, like, punny names or just cute names or whatever. So I did Evie Eeno, which is the casino owner, one of the males, and then I did Singh Ahlot, but the spelling is, like, you know, there, and that is a vocal coach. So then I had 7 females, because I had certain females that I needed. And I knew I wasn't going to have more than 2 males, at least at this point I knew. So I only had 2, like, set specifically, but I didn't know if things would change, kind of thing. So I wanted to have, like, you know, characters for them to play. So then I had 7 girls. I had Marry Me, who is a bride-to-be. I had Tammy Travell, who's a tourist. I had Evie Eeno, who is a backup singer. I had Diva Darling, who was an escort. I had Sophie Stopp, who was security guard. I had Lily Livingston, who was a best friend of Carrie Carlston, who was the other character, who was the other best friend. And then there was some, like, in-betweens that I didn't know what I was doing character-wise. I didn't know who was coming. And so I had Devin Druggs, who is a dealer. I had Sam Sampson, who's a cousin, and I had Olive You, who was a super fan. And those ones I was like, with the name, it could go either way, and with the character, it could go either way. And so that's kind of what I came up with. Now, unfortunately, I don't still have one set up. Yeah, these are all the clues that I came up with. Fun fact. I believe I only had, actually, I think I only had 2 of the clues. No, I think I did have 3. I don't remember if I came up with that one or not. I think I had 3 clues. Yeah, I had 3. So I don't have one on me because I took everything down the day after the party. But I made these character boxes, and they were just white little, like, card boxes or cardboard boxes, and they had some of that, like, crimpy paper in the bottom, 4 envelopes, a name tag with that character's name on it, and then a little notebook and a pen. And so I set out, I had 7 people that were coming. Like, the day of the party, I knew 7 people. And on my list, I had a few people that I was like, we need to have these characters. And then I think I made like 5 of those characters, but really 7 was, I figured out 7 was the best minimum for me. I kind of had like 5 as like the bare minimum, but really 7 was a good, I had good characters. Obviously, it would have been perfect to have all 12. But, So once I had that, once I knew how many people were coming, I then went and picked out those character boxes, or I put those character boxes together, and then I set them out for people on the table. I had a specific spot for everyone. And so when people got there and we started the murder mystery, I did it like a game kind of thing, like at the beginning of the night. We did some other stuff, but I kind of did the murder mystery like the first thing we did. And so people could open their character box. It was this fun little thing. And I was like, open your box and, you know, look who your character is. Don't open any of the envelopes until I tell you to. And I kind of walked through. I was like, the notepad and pen is if you want to take notes on what other people say. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. So then what I did is as we were going, I would have people open their first envelope. And like this one says, Sophie Stopp, round 1, meet your character. And like, you know, Diva Darling, round 1, meet your character. They all have that, but with the character's name. And then I have these little like papers inside that just say 1, and then it has some information on the character and some important key clues, which again I will walk through in the next video. And then second round is first clue, third round is social hour, and round 4 is the final clue. Now, this part was kind of like awkward and weird. I didn't know how this was going to play out, but I kind of just had I told everyone, don't let anyone see your actual card. Because I was like, some of you might have some secret thing written on it, some of you might not. Not a single one had a secret thing written on it, but I just thought that would add to the extra mystery, keep the suspense. So some people planning say like, to tell each person you are not the murderer, even if they are. But I had like a prize at the end for whoever guessed it, and I figured in that way, they're going to be like, oh, I'm not the murderer. So what if they were? They then can't win because they're not going to guess themselves. But some do it that way, and obviously they run it differently. I don't really know how, but I told everyone, you don't know if you are the murderer. And so that's kind of an important thing here. But the way I did it was I had people just kind of read their cards to themselves, and then we just kind of went in a circle and people read off what their card said. And it was really fun because thankfully everyone like played into it. They got these dialogues started. They fake argued with each other. Like, it was really cool. We had a good group of people for this. Because obviously they can't like create more information because they don't know what is an important detail or not, but they did really good at just taking the information and going with it, and making fun of each other, being stupid. It was actually really fun. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and everyone said they were too. I think this is our best party yet. I've said that for a lot of them, but seriously, this one, I think this is the best one yet. And I would love to do another murder mystery at some point. I don't know if it'll ever go as good as this one did, but, you know, it was fun. But anyway, so I had everyone go around and just read what their card said. And I was like, now's a good time just to kind of like socialize, whatever, point out things you're thinking. You don't have to say if you're thinking something, like it's up to you if you want to like accuse and point out things, or you can kind of keep it to yourself. And then I had, I don't know where they went, but I had 2 little magnifying glasses on the table, and I was like, if you want to place a formal guess, you have to pick up the magnifying glass, that way we know that you're making a formal guess. Otherwise, people could just throw things out and then later be like, oh, but I said that, like, I should win, but it's like, but you didn't actually guess, like, how am I supposed to know if you're serious or if you're just throwing something out? You know, I wanted to make it simple. And the way I did it was, at the end of, like, everyone talking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna allow, like, 2 guesses this round, or, like, 3 guesses this round, and you can't guess more than once a round, like, the same person can't, but there's no penalty for if you guess wrong. And to guess, you had to know who did it, how they did it, and why they did it. And, you know, throughout things that were revealed, or what things that were revealed throughout the clues. And so I'd have some people guess, and then I'd be like, okay, round 1 is over. And then everyone would open their second envelope, and we would just repeat that process. I don't know how other people do it, but that's kind of what I picked up from other things, and also just what seemed like it would work. That's what I put together. Again, I've never done a murder mystery before. I've never been to one. Like, I went in blind on this. And so I can't believe it went as well as it did. Now, one rough spot was the fact that, like I said, I planned for 12 people, which means that there's 12 people's clues worth of here, and some of them had important clues. So people would read their clues, and then it's like, wait, but there's still all these other characters. So I had piles of envelopes, and I had to go read through the clues at the end. So that part was really awkward, like at the end of each round. But it still, I mean, it still worked out. And obviously, best case scenario would be to know exactly who you're having, plan it for that. But I told everyone that I randomly picked characters for their boxes. I didn't point out that their characters were specifically important. That way they still suspected the people that I was playing, you know, or that I was reading off. Now, one of my biggest worries with doing this and coming up with the clues is I didn't want people to guess it right away. Like, I wanted to get through all the rounds, because if they guessed it right away, I mean, congratulations, party's over, you know, or the game's over. And so part of that is you do reveal things later. But when you got to round 3, if you picked up on something specific, then you had the ability to guess it. And that did happen. But I was okay with it being guessed in round 3. You know, I wanted it to make it to round 3. But we made it to round 3 and it was guessed, and then we still just read through the clues of round 4 because everyone was still hyped up, wanted to hear what they were. And you could tell what the final clue was that was like, oh, definitely if I heard that I would have guessed it. Now, I don't know which video to put this through, but basically, round 1, the suspicion was supposed to be on a certain few people. Just because of how the murder happened. Like, we know technically what happened, but there was more detail to it. And then, round 2, we found out a specific clue that then brought into the, like, guesses back out to everyone. So everyone was a suspect again. Except for if you caught on to one thing, then it cut the people probably about in half. I'm not doing the counting, but yeah. And then round 3, there was another detail that would cause some confusion with some. It would completely, like, eliminate others as suspects, which if you caught on to the last one, you already had other people eliminated. And so then there was a couple, and then round 4, you got that final clue that, you know, at that point, I think I left it between 2 people that you could guess. But there was one that it really strongly, you know, or no, I think once it got to round 4, you basically knew who it was if you caught on to that. So it was kind of like first to guess. So I was okay with it going at round 3, because we made it through the entire round. Like, it was the end of the round that it was guessed. And a couple other people placed guesses that were wrong. Like, so it was really fun. It worked out really good. My friend Kiana ended up winning, and she was playing the character Marry Me. Obviously, the character doesn't help you win, but I just thought that would be a fun little detail. But it was so fun. I mean, I'm so happy with how it turned out, because I was really worried because people were hyped up for this party. I mean, like, people were excited. Murder mysteries are a fun thing, and then people already are excited about the dog parties, and, like, obviously the dog parties are fun, but if we're being honest, like, I kind of compare them to kids' birthday parties a lot, like young kids. Like, it's mostly just all the adults or the parents sitting there talking, and then the kids just randomly run around, and you're just kind of sitting there. Which, it's fun, but, like, the holiday parties and the themed parties, that's kind of what I want to try to work more towards. Like, I started the parties as, like, parties for the dogs, but now I'm kind of turning them into, like, people parties where dogs are allowed, or, like, dog themes are a thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's working really well, because, like, the Halloween parties, we have, like, the costume contest. Everyone dresses up in costumes. It's just this fun little thing. We gamble with candy. It's fun. And then, obviously, the murder mystery party, that basically was, or that totally was human, like, based. There was no dog elements to it, except for the fact that dogs were there and dogs were required to dress up. But I still call it dog parties, because, you know, it's a dog party. There's dogs. It's fun. And, then, like, the Christmas parties, we do, like, an ornament exchange. We do a dog secret Santa. Like, you know, just fun things. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. I was really worried about this because I was like, if this doesn't go well, then people are going to be disappointed. Like, you know, hosting parties is a lot of work. Like, it is. I get so stressed before every party. I think I'm going to do a video on how I plan my dog parties. Because when I first started, I was like, I don't know what to do. And I still don't really know what to do a lot of times. But I think we're starting to get the hang of it. And I'm really happy with how this went. Obviously not something as extravagant as a murder mystery every time. But I think I do want to have more of the themed dog parties. And it's fun. So I think that that's all I really have for behind the scenes. I guess just some extra little things. We also played the game Mafia for a little bit. It didn't go too well because at that time we had 5 people, which you really can't play that game with 5 people. But, because that game, if you've ever played Mafia, if you've ever played Town of Salem, if you ever played Among Us, you basically know what all 3 are. There's lots of differences, but the premise of it is the same. There's a murderer or 2 murderers, whatever, and people don't know who they are, and throughout the game they're killing people, and the group as a whole has to try to figure out who it is, and people get voted off. It's this whole thing. Town of Salem and Mafia can both be played in real life, but Town of Salem you need a big group for because there are a lot of characters, like a lot of roles to play. And then Mafia, there's only a few. There's the nurse, the sheriff, and the Mafia. Again, Town of Salem, there's a million. Among Us is the for sure online version. Like, you kind of have to be online to play that one because there's different tasks you go and do, but there's not specific roles except for the imposters, which are the murderers. And Town of Salem, I think, started as an online game, but again, if you have big groups of people, it can be played. Basically, if you have a huge group of people, if you're in person and you have a huge group of people, Town of Salem is the one to go to. If you're in person, you have a smaller amount of people. I think 8 is a good minimum number. But like, if you have like that, then Mafia is a good one to go with. At birthday parties and stuff, we would always play Mafia. That's my favorite version. But again, Mafia wouldn't really work in a big group. Like, we played Town of Salem in my choir class. We got the whole choir class. We got some of the drama class, like, because we just had downtime, and we'd play that sometimes, and that would not work with Mafia. Like, you need more than 3 characters. So I guess, you know, that kind of covers the behind the scenes, I think. I'll throw up some pictures and stuff in this that we got from the party, and honestly, it was fun. I'm really happy with how it went, like I am. So with that, I hope you enjoyed. I know this was very long, but, you know, it's fun to dive into the behind the scenes. I love behind the scenes videos. I love things like that. Like, that was a big fun part of the party too, is like, they were like, okay, tell me how you did this. And I was like, I need to tell you how I did this. And I was like, I want to know you guys' thought process. Like, it's so fun to me, like, behind the scenes things. A lot of my, like, adventure videos that I do, like the behind the scenes of the photo shoots and stuff, like, I love behind the scenes. I love bloopers. I love things like that. And so I was excited to do this video. Whether someone watches it or not, I don't care. It's fun. So again, with that, I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe all these holidays. I know this is going to be out past Thanksgiving, but since it's Thanksgiving, might as well say Happy Thanksgiving. Bye!